Sharing the pranava 3 times. Take a breath in. Oh. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And let's share the shorter version of the Guru Mantra, keeping in mind that the second word, Hreem, is to give, I guess, devotional focus to the female perspective of Shiva Shakti. Take a breath in. Om Hreem Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Hreem Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Hreem Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And on your next exhale, go ahead, release. Let's come to a standing position in Tadasana. There we go, face you. So just hit all the anatomical marks that you know. And once you come into Tadasana, close the eyes and just let the body, mind, memory do its thing and really feel this alignment. Once you feel the physical alignment, you're aware of that. Let's bring the focus to the breath, relaxing the upper chest, letting the full lung from bottom, middle, and top really fill up with air as we take nice, relaxed breaths. Keeping in mind that a yoga practice without awareness of breath is exercise. Once we bring in that awareness in every minute of the next hour, while we do our movements, then it becomes a yoga practice. So you can choose to have your eyes open or closed, but let's open up the palms and inhale, arms up. And exhale, release down. Again, inhale up. Really think we're gathering up energy. And then as we exhale, we're bringing the energy down from the crown of the head to the base of the spine to the toes. One more time, inhale. And now let's let the head drop back. Look at your hands. Hold here. Drop the shoulders, release the tension there, release the tension in the neck. Really let the head be nice and heavy. And then exhale, release the palms down, let the head pass through neutral, and then chin to chest. And let's hold right here, chin to chest. Feeling a nice lengthening through the back of the neck, top of the shoulders. From here, bend the knees, hands come to the front of the thighs. And as we exhale, let's curl down into a forward fold. So you let the neck extend forward, chin to chest, and just make your way down into a forward fold, knees bent, hands following the front of the body all the way down to the mat or shins or ankle, wherever you are. And then just hang out there. Go ahead, let the shoulders round. Shoulders can be near the knees. If you can, bend the knees a little bit more so that you can rest your belly and chest on your thighs. To come back, we're going to simply reverse what we did. So keep the chin tucked under. And then as you inhale, rise up slowly from lower back to middle back to upper back. The last thing to release is the chin, and it comes back to neutral. Let's reverse that whole process. Take a breath in. As you exhale, tuck the chin, round the shoulders. And then with every exhale you take, let's do a nice forward fold, knees bent. First, feeling the rounding of the shoulders, the bend at the waist through the middle back. Feel the extension, I should say flexion through the lower back. As you come all the way down, knees are bent, and let's just rest the belly and chest on the thighs. Hold here, soft breath. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, before rising up into chair, check that you're lifting the arch. Check that you have awareness of the inner thighs with that slight exterior rotation of knees and hips right now. Then lift the head, which causes the back to lengthen. And let's just bring our hands to the heart center first. Roll the shoulders up and back. We're activating the shoulder blades now. From this position, inhale and rise up into your chair, wherever that is. Once you're in position, go ahead, look down, make sure you can still see your toes. If you find that you have an excessive arch in the lower back, do that little pelvic tilt, which helps to lengthen the lower back. Also engages the core, so we're nice and stable there. Hold here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rise up, extend arms up high. Once you get to the top, drop the head, look at the hands. Relax the shoulder blades down, soften the knees. Let the head be nice and heavy. Exhale, release the hands to the sides and bring the head back to neutral. Repeating that whole sequence. Hands now are in the front of the thighs, tuck the chin. Take a breath in. As you exhale, roll down, bending the knees as you come all the way down. At the bottom, we're resting the belly and chest on the knees. Relax shoulders. Coming into chair, lift the head, lengthen the back. Check the foundation from toes, ankles, knees, hips. Inhale, hands to heart center. Inhale into chair. Take a look down, make sure you can still see your toes. Lengthen the back. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming into a spinal twist, you may want to sit a little deeper. And then as you inhale, bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Stack the hands. Look at your knees, make sure they're still parallel. And then head is in neutral as it looks to the side. If that causes some tension in the neck, you can always look down at the mat. Hold here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, let's come back to center. Hands are at center, torso's facing down. Inhale again, stand up. Extend arms up high. At the top, drop the shoulders. Drop the head back. Look at your hands. Hold here. Again, letting that mind, body memory come into play. Relax the neck a little bit more. Coming out, take a breath in, and exhale, release. Hands down to the sides, head back to neutral. Okay, one more time. Hands on the thighs, bend the knees, tuck the chin. Take a breath in, and then exhale, forward fold. At the bottom, we're resting on our thighs. Shoulders are relaxed. Chin is tucked. Check the integrity from big toe, outer heel, ankle, knee, and hip, and then lift head, lengthen back. Inhale, hands to heart center, which helps draw those shoulders back. Inhale, let's come into a chair pose. Take a look down, make sure that you can still see your toes. Hold here. Lengthen the back as needed. 4, 3, 2, 1. Spinal twist. Inhale, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Stack the hands. Take a look down, make sure your knees are still parallel, and then hold. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming out, inhale, let's bring hands to heart center, looking down at the mat now. And then inhale, rise up, extend arms up high. At the top, drop shoulders, drop head. Exhale, release the hands, release the head back down to center. Inhale, arms up. Look at your hands. Hold here, simply bend your knees. Hold. Keep dropping the shoulders a little bit more, opening the armpits out to the side. Looking at your hands, forward fold. So as you exhale, keep looking at your hands, trying to keep your head in between your arms. Forward fold. Take as many breaths as you need to come down, knees are bent. So as I come down, my knees are bent, and again, I'm just resting my belly and chest on my thighs. My hands come down to the mat and slide the hands so that the toes and fingers are in line. Roll the shoulders up and back. My head is no longer tucked, but it's in a nice neutral position. Knees bent. I haven't lost focus of lifting the arch, engaging the inner thighs. Shoulders are not hanging out by my ears. So from here, we're in a really nice position to do another chair. So simply extend the arms in front of you, look at your hands, and then inhale, come up into your chair. Take a look down to make sure you can still see your toes, and then neutral gaze. And then once more, inhale, stand up, and exhale, release the hands down. Let's do another forward fold. Inhale, arms up, look at your hands, bend the knees, drop the shoulders, take a breath in, and then as you exhale, forward fold, bending from the hips, trying to keep our head in between the arms. As we slowly come down, knees are bent. As I get to the bottom, I'm resting my belly and chest on the knees, hands to the mat. Draw the hands back, toes and fingers in line. Shoulders are active. Head is looking down. From here, as you exhale, let's try and straighten our knees and keep the hips over the heels. Now, if you're not yet there to straighten the knees completely, no big deal. Just go to where you can. Nothing else has changed in my body. As you exhale, bend the knees once more, resting the torso on your thighs. All right, that's the movement. So take a breath in. As you exhale, we're lifting the hips up, keeping the hips over the heels and coming into forward fold. Inhale, you're bending the knees once more and resting the torso on the thighs. All right, so let's do it again. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend knees. Come back to that resting position. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come back. Let's do that a few more times. Exhale. Notice how there is some distribution, weight distribution movement as you come up and down, as you focus your hips over your heels. Go ahead one more time. All right, let's all meet in a forward fold. And if you feel nice and steady, you're okay, go ahead. Hands to each elbow, let that extra weight sort of extend the back down towards the mat. And let's hold here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knees, lift the head, lengthen back, extend arms in front of you. Look at your hands. Inhale, rise all the way up. Keep looking at your hands as you come up. Standing up tall, extend the arms up high. Now drop the head back. Widen the shoulder, armpits to the side, allowing the shoulder blades to sink towards the spine. Soften the knees. And then exhale, release the hands to the sides. Head comes back to neutral. Coming into warrior one with a little balance pose first. As you inhale, shift the weight to the left leg, bringing the right knee in front of the right hip. Hands to your waist. As you inhale, step back first, toe, heel. Remember, stepping back into warrior one. So for the preparation, I step back, toe, heel, straighten both knees, square off the hip points. And then I really want to make sure that my weight is not too much forward. I want to have my pelvis in between both legs. From this point, I take a breath in and exhale, bend that front leg. This is a good time to look down and make any adjustments. Perhaps you can have a wider stance, so you want to bring your your right leg behind you a little bit more. For different reasons, you may find that your knee or your hip, instead of having your back foot facing forward, you may want to have it at a 45-degree angle. So this is when we make all these nice adjustments. I engage my inner thigh, drop the hands to the sides, open the palms, inhale, arms up, hands together at the top. As I exhale, I try and release my shoulders down, meaning the shoulder blades gently come down the spine and towards the spine, causing the armpits to rotate out, but at the same time, your hands are rotating in. We want to have equal weight on both feet, both legs. If that's not there and you can't find the adjustment, then you need to bring your legs a little closer together. Let's hold here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, a little awareness of our core. As we exhale, we simply bend at the hip and we extend the torso forward over that left leg. So we have a nice line from my back right heel to the hip, spine, and tip of the fingers. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To come out, inhale, simply bring the torso back, and you're back into your warrior one. Let's step forward, inhale, step forward, back into Tadasana with arms extended, and exhale, release. The hands down to the sides. Opposite side, inhale, shift your weight to the right leg. and the left knee comes up, floating in front of your left hip. Now, this is a really good time to make sure that you're squared off and that your hips are nice and equal before you step back. Hands to the waist. As you inhale, step back. First the toe touches, then the heel, then you square off, straightening both legs. Find the equidistant point for your hips, and then you exhale and bend that front knee. Do your adjustments here if you need to. Hands are by our sides. Open up the palms. Inhale, arms up. At the top, hands together. Exhale, drop the shoulder. One knee, the armpits to the outside, hands to the inside. The inner thighs are engaged. That's to protect your knees and correct alignment. So let's hold here. Once we learn how to engage the inner thighs to protect the knee and to have correct alignment, it's very easy to hold this pose for longer and longer time frame because everything is stacked up correctly. So it's not a problem. Let's hold. 8, 7. So if you are finding this a challenge, maybe you need to change the angle of your back foot or change the distance between both feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then engaging the core and really understanding where our body is. As you exhale, go ahead, bend from the hip, bend forward until you feel a nice lengthening from that back foot through the leg, hips, back, and fingers. Hold here. If your arms are getting tired, you're feeling some stress in the neck and the upper back, remember, bring your focus to the shoulder blades. That engages the correct muscles to hold the arms up. 8, 7. You can also have your gaze down towards the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, let's come right back to warrior 1. Coming to Tadasana. Inhale, step forward. You're in Tadasana. Exhale, release. Both hands down to the side. Let's come into the middle of our mat. Open up the legs, 3 or 4 feet apart, getting ready for warrior 2. Left leg stays where it is, parallel or slightly turned in, the foot. Open up the right toes, swivel them towards the short side of the mat, square off the hips. It's a good time to engage the inner thighs. Inhale the arms up on the line, look at the right, and exhale, bend that right knee. Take a look down, make your adjustments, and then just relax into warrior 2, even as you are lifting up out of the bones, meaning we're engaging the inner thigh, so we're nice and light. We're light but grounded. And then understanding the movement of the torso in this position while still staying nicely grounded. As we exhale, we simply shift the weight forward, but nothing is happening in the lower body. It's a shift from the, I guess you could say, kind of between the hips and waist. And then as I inhale, I come back. Exhale, I shift forward. Inhale, I come back. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Coming into a side angle, gently bring the right hand down in front of your thigh, open up the left. Let's now look towards the long side of the mat, so we're squared off towards the long side of the mat. Inhale the left arm up, drop the shoulder, square the shoulders off. Keeping your gaze exactly where it is. As you exhale, let's find the side angle, but let's only go as far to the right so that we have a nice straight line from the left leg, left hip, left rib cage, left armpit, left arm, left fingertips. So we need to hold ourselves up. It's reminiscent of a side plank here. Try not to put any weight on this right arm. Hold. Again, if you're feeling some discomfort in the knees, you can come up out of the position a little bit, or think more about engaging those inner thighs so that we have an even distribution of weight over the inside and the outside of the knee. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's come back to Warrior Two. So as you inhale, you windmill the arms back and look to the right. Transition to the other side. Inhale, both arms up. Swivel on your feet. Now, as I'm swiveling on my feet, I'm squaring my hips. So on the next exhale, I simply bend that left knee, look left. Take a quick look down, make sure you're happy with your form and your alignment, and then hold Warrior Two here. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So staying really solid in the lower limbs and your foundation, moving only the torso forward and back. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, you shift over that left thigh, and inhale, you come back. Exhale, and inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, and inhale. Let's stay here, side angle. Gently bring the left arm in front of you. Open up the right arm. Let's look towards the long side of the mat now. Inhale the right arm up and drop the shoulder. As you exhale, you have a bit of a side bend to the left, but we're not collapsing all the way down. We're keeping a nice strong angle from that back right leg, right hip, right rib cage, right open armpit through the fingertips. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. To come out, as you inhale, you windmill the arms back, place the torso nicely over your pelvis, and come into Warrior Two, looking left. Transition to a straddle. Inhale, both arms up. Swivel that left foot in. Now, before we do the forward fold, look at your feet. Make sure they're either parallel or slightly turned in. Think about your hips. Are your hips in line with your heels? Swan dive down. As you exhale, extend the arms to the side. Let's try and keep our back nice and straight as we swan dive all the way down. As we get to the bottom, go ahead, release the hands to the mat. If you can, fingers and toes in line, shrug the shoulders back. Let the head drop down. So hold here. Maybe you need to make a little adjustment for your hips to be over your heels. That means most of us have to bring the weight a little bit forward. And until we get used to this alignment, we feel like we're too forward. We feel like there's too much weight on our toes. but usually we're just not used to it because habitually we lean back. Okay, let's hold here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, before we come back, sometimes there is a lot of stress over the knees to come up from this position. So if that's the case for you, I recommend that you just close the distance between your feet a little bit. So just toe heel a little bit so that they're closer together. And from here, lift the head, lengthen the back, reverse swan dive. Inhale, extend the arms to the side, and then inhale again, rise up. Hands up high, drop the shoulders, and exhale, release the hands down. Let's come into pyramid pose. So stand in the middle of our mat in Tadasana first. So the key to pyramid pose is 1, square hips, square hips, square hips. And then let's do some modifications as we go down because there is a lot of tension over the knees. So let's put the left foot forward, 2 feet. Both feet are facing forward. If at this point you feel that your balance is off, go ahead and distance your feet sideways, meaning that my right foot is closer to the right side of the mat and my left foot is closer to the left side of the mat, but both feet are still pointing forward and my hips are square. From here, hands on hips, think about where your pelvis is right now. We want it to be in between both legs. If you find that you're already in a position like this, a little too forward, see if you can bring your hips down. Spine nicely aligned over the pelvis. All right, pyramid pose, we should have a straight front leg. However, that doesn't mean we lock the knee. So I'm going to lift the arch of both legs, soften the knee a little bit, really focus on an exterior rotation of both knees. And then as I exhale, go ahead, start doing a forward fold. My hands are on my hips right now. As I come down, there's a tendency to open the hips to the right. So go down slow and keep closing it so that both hip points are still squared off as you go down. When you start to lose your balance, go ahead and reach for the mat, or maybe you even have a block there. If you can come all the way down, pyramid pose does have what we call a bandha, which means we need to close off an energy current. How do we do that? We're bringing the sternum and the chin together. So tuck the chin. That's really important here. Even if you're not touching yet your front leg, find this bandha. Super important. Tuck the chin. Now, if you're close to bringing your head towards the shin, go ahead, bend that front knee just a little bit. Chin is tucked, and come down. As long as you're nicely squared off, that's fine. So the first variation is bent knee, and hands can be on blocks or on either side of the foot so that we keep our balance. That's great. To safely come out, you're going to bend that left knee first. As you bend that left knee, you're finding that the weight distribution now between both legs has changed a little bit. So before you even take your hands off the mat, you want to feel some weight on that back leg, feel that it's nicely equal between the front and the back. Lift the head, lengthen the back, bring your hands to your waist, and then you just come up, just like we do in a warrior one. And as you get to the top, both knees are straightened. All right, step the left foot back to meet the right. Let's do the opposite side. Step the right foot forward, 2 feet, 2.5 feet. Find your balance point in terms of distance between the right and the left in terms of a sideways motion. Square the hips. Let's keep the pelvis in between both legs. Spine nicely lengthened over the pelvis. Hands on hips. Engage the inner thighs. As you exhale, let's slowly go down, forward fold. Again, we want to resist that temptation to open the hip out towards the left. So you want to keep closing that left hip point to keep it in line with the right. As you come down, as you come near, at some point, you may want to release your hands to the mat or to your blocks. Tuck the chin. And then bring the head towards the knee. Even if you have to bend that front knee a little bit, that's fine. Let's hold here. It's really a nice lengthening move, but it's also a strengthening and balancing move, because if you lose focus of that inner thigh engagement, you can damage your joints. So we want to make sure we have correct alignment the whole time that we're going down, holding the pose, and then coming out of the pose. So focus on those inner thighs. To come out, bend that front knee. Keep focusing on the inner thighs. Engagement, which means exterior rotation through the knee and hip. Focusing on the big toe and the outer heel. Now I'm going to lift my head, lengthening the back, which causes my hands to leave the mat. Feel a nice weight distribution between front leg and back leg, hands to hips. Use the core. As you inhale, you rise up. Standing nicely in between both legs now. Knees are straight. And then as you inhale, step back, and you're back into Asana. Release your hands. All right, let's see if we can do, if you'd like, I'm going to show you another version where we don't use our hands for balance. But if you'd like, go ahead and use your hands for balance, depending on where you are. Okay, let's shift the weight to the right leg. Inhale, step forward with the left. Square off. Hands can be behind you. If you can do reverse Namaste, you know, where you're in a prayer position with your hands behind your back, go ahead, or you can just hold your elbows. All right, we're nicely squared off. You choose where you want to bring your arms. As you exhale, let's come into our pyramid. Really think about keeping the hip points squared and closed. Protect your knees, equal weight on both front leg and back leg. If you get to the bottom, that's when you tuck your chin and come down. Let's hold here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. To safely come out, first bend that front knee. Feel that you have nice weight distribution between front and back. You're still squared off. Lift the head, lengthen the back, and then inhale, come all the way up. Nicely squared off, release the hands. Now you'll notice, especially since we're not using our hands for balance, that you really need to use the focus, your gaze, what we call dristi. Really keep moving that dristi in a controlled manner as you go up and down to keep your balance. All right, step the left foot back. Let's do the other side. Right foot forward. Find the distance that feels comfortable for you, that you have nice balance. Hands behind your back if that's your choice. Squared off, focus on protecting my joints. Take a breath in, exhale, forward fold. Remember, as you go down, you keep changing the focus gaze for your balance. Keep squaring off. Think about extending the torso down that front leg. As you get to the bottom, that's when you tuck the chin. And the more you do this, the more you get used to keeping your weight distribution equal between both legs. In the beginning, it may be a bit of a challenge. Let's hold here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, to come out, remember you bend that knee first. That causes a little bit of movement in your weight distribution, so equalize that first. And then lift the head, lengthening the back. Fix your gaze somewhere and move the gaze in a controlled manner to keep your balance as you inhale and you rise up. Come to the top, straighten both legs, feel that you're nicely balanced before you release the hands to the sides, and then step back into Tadasana. Beautiful. Let's come down on the mat. Let's come into Boca Abajo. What is that? On our stomachs. Let's go through Bhujangasana or Cobra pose. So what I'd like you to do first is come into the Sphinx. So in Sphinx, we have the support of our forearm. Elbow ideally is underneath the shoulder. Hands are parallel to one another, or sometimes they're even sort of together in front of you, whatever feels good. Roll those shoulders up and back so that they're not by our ears. Bring the focus to the shoulder blades. Let's think about the lower limbs. My belly button is on the mat. I feel equal contact on my right and left hip bone. I feel a nice contact of my upper thighs and then the top of my feet. Now, depending on the flexibility of your ankles, some of you, your whole foot is resting nicely on the mat. For others like me, you can see my ankle is really high in the air, and that's the reflection of the stiffness in my ankles. But even so, as long as I have awareness of where I'm trying to be, that's good. All right, so then we just have a neutral gaze or look down, shoulders back. This is a Sphinx pose, and I like to begin with this because here we really know where our body needs to be without having to put too much muscular tension in holding the pose. Now you'll notice that if you clench your buttocks, you're going to feel tension in the lower back, and you're going to lose a little bit of contact through the hip bones, right? Relax the stomach now, and you've got that contact back. Same thing, if you do a little bit of a pelvic tilt here, you've increased the contact through the pelvic bones. You may have lost a little bit through the belly. So it's about finding the balance. How much do I need to tense my buttocks, do a little pelvic tilt, and still keep contact and shine the heart and keep the shoulders back, and at the same time lengthen my legs. So play with that a little bit yourself, because it's much easier in this position than it is when we're in the full Cobra. Remember, in this position, we have that nice lateral breath through the ribs. Let's hold this a little bit more. Keep playing with it. Find that balance point for you of tension and relaxation to hold the pose where all the anatomical points, you've ticked them off. And then take a breath in, and as you exhale, release the pose, coming into Asana, Crocodile pose. Feet are pointing out, head is to one side, resting on your hands or your stacked up wrists. Let's come back into Sphinx pose. So you're in Sphinx pose, go through whatever you need to do to feel that you've got that nice balance of how to hold this pose. And then what I'd like you to do is simply slide your hands back into Cobra pose, Bhujangasana pose. See how that has changed a little bit, because now you've lost your support. But can you still maintain, to the best of your ability, that nice balance between lengthened leg, pelvis tuck, contact of pelvis, not clenching the buttocks, but tensing them just enough so that we can hold the pose. Shoulders away from us, our ears. Find that rib breath here, releasing the belly. Let's hold. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release. Come into Crocodile Pose. The reason why I'm putting some emphasis on Bhujangasana is because when we do sun salutations, sometimes the rhythm of the flow is so fast that unconsciously we're not really hitting all the anatomical points to do this pose correctly when we're in that sequence. So it's nice to do it slow and mindfully so that our body-mind memory can kick in when we're going through the sequence. So once again, let's come into Sphinx Pose. We're in Sphinx Pose. Hit all the points that you want to. Inhale, release the hands into Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift the hands off the mat, float them above the mat. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently bring hands down to the mat. Hold the pose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide the hands forward. Come into Sphinx Pose. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Repeating, slide hands back. Bhujangasana. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release hands from mat. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come back to the mat. Bhujangasana, hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lastly, come into Sphinx Pose. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale, relax down into Crocodile Pose. Crocodile Pose is also a really good time to focus on that rib breath, because with the head elevated just a little bit, causes a minor curve in the upper and middle back, which brings the belly button down into the mat, which means we can free up the ribs and start feeling that breath through the ribs. It's nice to be able to isolate at will how we take our breaths. And then let's release the pose, turn over onto your back. Swan Asana pose, wind removing pose. Go ahead, bring knees to chest, hands to knees. And let's just stay here without any movement first, allowing the back to lengthen. Meaning we need to release any tension we feel in the hip flexors and the buttocks. That will cause the lower back to relax and lengthen down the mat. Let's relax our shoulders down to the mat as best we can, even while we're holding on to our knees. Think about your head. Is your chin in a neutral position? Or are you contracting the neck muscles in the back? So we can lengthen the neck muscles in the back also here. Coming into happy baby pose, hands come on the inside of our knees. Grab the big toes if you can. Happy baby pose. Remember, it doesn't matter if you want to hold your ankles, shins, or even underneath your thighs. What I would like is that we have a nice angle here of a flexed ankle. This ankle is in line with the knee is in line with the hip. Let's hold here in stillness. And your next exhale, go ahead, extend the knees into a nice straddle. Inhale, bring the legs together, still facing the sky. Release the hands to the back of your shins or at the calves or the thigh, because we're going to lift our head up. So take a breath in. As you exhale, bring the head up. And let's see if we can bring in contact the legs with the head. I'm drawing my legs towards my head. I'm lifting my head up, taking my shoulders off the mat. Let's hold here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you exhale, release the head down. Now let the legs go. Let them just come up back into a vertical position over your hips. Release the hands to the sides, palms up. Bend both knees and come into a spinal twist. Take a breath in. As you exhale, knees to the right, you look to the left. So what we're doing right now is just different ways to stretch out that lower back that we were tensing in our Bhujangasana series. Let's hold this nice spinal twist. Close the eyes. Soft breaths. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go to the other side. Take a breath in. Exhale, contract, tilt, float the knees up to the other side. Once you get there, let's try not to fidget. Just hold still, let gravity do its work, loosening the back. And let's count down from 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming to center, take a breath in. Exhale, contract, tilt, come to center. And then extend the legs down. Sorry. And release the hands to the sides, palms up, and you're in Savasana. If you can enjoy your Savasana a little bit longer, please do, and have a great day. If you're ready to come out, let's observe our breath. And then gently bring movement back to the body, starting with the smaller joints and muscle groups first, fingers and toes, ankles and wrists, knees and elbows, hips, spine, shoulders, letting the head roll from side to side, perhaps. And then all together, let's roll over on one side. And with the support of your hands, as you exhale, go ahead, push up. Just find a nice seated position. Close the eyes. Just feel really nice and grounded and centered right now. Notice how easy it is to take a breath, how relaxed your hips and knees feel. Inhale, hands to heart center. Sharing the pranava together. Take a breath in. Om. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Exhale, bowing down to the teacher within. And inhale, come up. Open your eyes. You're in full awareness.